You understand? So don't sit around here and mock as if anybody died. Nobody died. This is a long-term conflict. It is not a short-term fight. So brighten up your faces. Don't allow that man inside there. Don't allow these jokers to win in this battle against this man. Okay, this man changed the face of this town, and this is the reward he's getting. And all of you are acting as if somebody died. Nobody died. In a conflict, you have good. Sometimes things work against you in a conflict. So don't be frightened. Do you understand what I'm saying? So sit up.
If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. The day that RUFAI supporters were waiting for has come, and it has broken their hearts. On Tuesday, April 22nd, 2026, a Kaduna State High Court denied bail to former Governor Nasir El-Rufai and adjourned proceedings to the first week of June. That is 6 more weeks. 6 more weeks behind bars. 6 more weeks in the custody of the ICPC. 6 more weeks away from his family, away from the political battlefield, away from the opposition coalition he helped to build. And the question on every Nigerian's lips today is this justice or is this warfare? Let's go back to where this all began. El-Rufai was first taken into custody by the Economic and Financial Crime Commission on February 19, 2026. He was then transferred to the ICPC and has been behind bars ever since. He is facing a 9-count charge filed by the ICPC, bordering on the alleged abuse of office, fraud, and other financial offenses, including claims that he induced the Kaduna state government to release about 11 billion naira to an unregistered entity for a light rail project allegedly never executed, that he approved and received about 289 million naira as severance allowance above the legally approved amount, and that he mismanaged over $1 million from a World Bank loan. El-Rufai has denied everything, every single count. But denial is not freedom, and in Nigeria's justice system, it appears that even bail, the most basic constitutional right, is now a political commodity. Here is what makes the story even more remarkable. A federal high court had already granted El-Rufai bail in the sum of 200 million naira, and yet he could still not walk free because there are 2 separate cases in 2 separate courts, and the Kaduna State High Court had not yet ruled on its own bail application. Until both courts grant bail and El-Rufai satisfies the condition attached to each, he stays in custody. Think about that. A man was granted bail and still could not go home. That is not the rule of law. That is rule of lawlessness. Now let's talk about why this court said no. Justice Darius Kobo ruled that the allegations of financial impropriety against El-Rufai are weighty enough to justify continued detention, citing concerns that his status could enable him to interfere with ongoing investigations. But listen to what human rights lawyer and former NHRC boss Chidi Odenkalo said about that reasoning. Odenkalo warned that the justification given by the court represents a disturbing departure from established legal principles. He said, if this were to be law, Nigerian prisons will be full of former ex-governors, ex-ministers, and distinguished senators on pretrial detention. He even referenced Governor Yahaya Bello and Senator Ojus Okalo, asking where the consistency is. In other words, this is not a standard they apply to everyone. It is a standard they apply to El-Rufai. And El-Rufai owns defense team is saying exactly that. His counsel, Ukbon Akpan, faulted the continued postponement of the bail hearing by the presiding judge, describing it as politically motivated. Akpan said the court, in its wisdom, decided that because Nasir El-Rufai is a former governor, therefore he is going to interfere with the investigation. Therefore, he is not entitled to bail in an allegation of financial impropriety. We are grateful to His Lordship for the learning that he has shown, but we respectfully disagree. He added that they would immediately challenge the ruling through every legal option available. But even outside the courtroom, the pain was visible. El-Rufai supporters assembled outside the courtroom, many of whom appeared visibly emotional, with some seen in tears over the court's decision. His own lawyer had to tell them, "All of you are acting as if somebody died. Nobody died. Stand up. We are going to take this battle on, and we are going to win." Let us be honest about what is really happening here, because Nigerians are not fools. For many observers, the question now is whether this case is purely a matter of law enforcement or part of the broader political realignment already shaping the road to the 2027 elections. Nigeria's history provides numerous examples where anti-corruption prosecutions have been perceived, rightly or wrongly, as a tool deployed to intimidate or neutralize opponents. And an analyst, Omotayo Yusuf, put it in even more bluntly. He maintained that the detention of El-Rufai is part of the bigger political game ahead of the 2027 election. Not only to deny him the opportunity of politicking, but to deny him the right frame of mind to do so. He said, the APC understand how much problem El-Rufai can cause. Right now, he does not have not only the opportunity, but also he is not in the right frame of mind for politicking as he chases his own freedom. And that is the crux of the whole drama. Nasir El-Rufai is not just a former governor sitting in a cell. He is the man who walked out of the APC and joined the ADC. He is the man who said Tinubu must go. He is the man whose political network spans the north, whose voice can rally crowds, whose endorsement can shift elections. The ADC has raised alarm, warning that recent development point to a shrinking democratic space and possible abuse of state institutions. The party cited his exclusion from a ministerial position, the probe by the Kaduna State House of Assembly, and the arrest of several of his associates as an example of what it called coordinated actions aimed at weakening his political influence. The ADC also alleged violations of El-Rufai's fundamental human rights, including arbitrary detention and frequent transfers between Abuja and Kaduna, and called for the immediate cessation of what he termed harassment of opposition figures. The implications for 2027 cannot be overstated. Every day that El-Rufai sits in that cell is a day the opposition loses momentum in the north. Every bail hearing that gets pushed to June is another month that coalition building stalls. Every postponement is another chapter in the story of government that is terrified, not of a criminal, but of a politician. Nigeria, this is your democracy on the line. Watch it carefully. Until I see you on the next video, remain blessed.